Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to everyone to Cliff Notes Live. Welcome to episode, we'll call it 198. I think that's where we're at. We're going to have to do something special for episode 200. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live, though. Welcome to Monday night. Welcome to the end of Big Brother Season 26. I know we're going to talk a lot about that this evening. I'm ready for it. So bring all your questions, opinions, what you thought went well, what didn't. We're going to talk about it all. Now, before we do that, real quickly, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, and maybe hitting the old thumbs up as well. Now that the season's over, I won't be doing the morning recaps. We'll still be doing the Monday nights. Won't be doing the morning recaps. I'm looking for what else I can do. Right now, what else I can do is take a long nap. A little hibernating going on over here, but yeah, we'll be doing some other videos and stuff all down the road, so it may be worthwhile to turn on those notifications. All right, that being said, I want to go out and see who's out there. Quick shout outs, and then we'll start with some questions and everything else. Michelle Moore, first one in. Howdy, Michelle. How are you doing? Ma as well. Ma, always so happy to see you out here. Thank you for that. Laura Lewis as well. Patricia Miller, welcome to both of y'all. And Karen Loveland. I actually saw this a second ago. Karen saying my mom died too. Her funeral's tomorrow. I am so sorry, Karen. I obviously I can empathize with you. You can empathize with me. It's difficult. I'm sorry. My mom's funeral is on Saturday. I hate that you're having to share the same kind of pain that I am going through. But I'll say this. What helped me a lot over the last week or so is telling a lot of stories and remembering a lot of things about my mom. Gosh, going all the way back to when I was a little bitty old kid. Still wearing a cowboy hat. Started kind of young, but telling some of the stories about my mom and just remembering so many things. As long as you got those memories, she's not truly gone. But Karen, you, from the bottom of my heart, you have got my sympathy. If you need anything, DM me. And obviously, I'm always willing to talk. I'm sorry. I don't even know how to proceed from that. I'm just sorry. All right. But that being said, yeah, reach out. I'm happy to talk, and talking helps sometimes. All right. Let's see who else we got here. I'm sorry, Karen. I just, life is tough. I appreciate every bit of it. Value this, guys. It's something else. All right, Karen. I'm sorry. All right, Patricia Miller as well. Hey, Patricia. Laura Lewis, Arno Stu, Karen Hummer. Let's see, Mark Taylor. Mark, how are you? I'm looking forward to your questions. You've always got so many interesting points and opinions, so I appreciate all of that. Let's see, Moses, Arno Stu, Angie. I knew Angie was out here, and as she mentioned, happy Canadian Thanksgiving Day. Y'all have turkey for Thanksgiving? I know you probably don't celebrate the Penguins, certainly not the Mayflower. A little bit different celebration up there, right? But I've never celebrated Canadian Thanksgiving. Is it poutine instead of the Thanksgiving turkey? I'm not sure, but hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, Angie. All right, let's see who else we got. I see whole conversations going on. All right, let's see. Marilyn, I think I said before, but I don't mind saying it again. Lee Strack as well. Lee, how are you? Michelle Moore, Mark Lozano, Lynn Gideon. Let's see. Anaway, how are you, my friend? Let's see. Rita Case. And I'll tell you what, we're just going to go inside of there because I see Desiree Watts. I saw, and Cindy. All right, I'll end it, Cindy. Could not say hi to you, Cindy, as well. I'm going to stop it there. I don't know who's further down, but welcome to all of you. Welcome to those of you who are watching this show live. Welcome to those of you who are watching on replay as well. I know not always you're able to come out here on a Monday, so I appreciate all of you guys. We finished up the season. 90 days ago? Is that how long they were in the house? 89, 90 days. It seems like a lot longer than that. Lord, I was in the house 93 days and I didn't even make it to the end. But that's a long time in that house. I feel for them. I'm really looking forward to visiting a lot of these house guests and figuring out what was really going on in their heads versus maybe what we sometimes saw on TV. Not sure it's always the same. Everyone wears, even inside the Big Brother house, well, maybe especially inside the Big Brother house, people wear masks. Even to the with the live feeds and everything, people wear masks. You don't always really understand the person until they get out of the house and you interacted with them in the real world. That's why I'm always trying to stay a little bit positive, not be too critical. Now, I'll criticize gameplay, and we'll do a little bit of that this evening. But criticizing gameplay, I think, is different from criticizing the person. I always try to keep it as positive as possible. I hope y'all do too. Those guys went through a lot. They're going to take a while before they recover from the game we call Big Brother. It is cutthroat and it is ruthless, and you remember it forever. All right, let's start with the questions because you don't want to hear me doing soliloquies up here at all. All right, Mark Taylor saying, did McKenzie make a mistake in choosing her friend instead of picking Cam, who she could beat? Yeah, yeah, she did, I think. And it's very interesting because McKenzie lives, she's not, but probably 5 minutes by the way the crow flies from where I live. She's down here in South Houston, just on the other side of the freeway from me. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to say hello to her at some point in time. Maybe we'll set up a meet and greet or something. It'd be fun, but it is tough. Yes, I think she made a mistake. If she had taken Cam, is Cam really going to get four votes from that jury and have him win over McKenzie? I just don't see it. If it did see it, I think we as viewers would have had an absolute meltdown. I think McKenzie, just by virtue of cutting Chelsea, of doing something so, is ruthless the right word? I don't know. I don't know it's betrayal either, but by doing something that was so necessary to get you where you wanted to go, I think she got beat by unanimous vote. I think McKenzie probably would have won by unanimous vote. I think she could have won by unanimous. Perhaps there's a vote or two out there. Cam at one point had said, I hope someone just throws me a pity vote. He maybe would have gotten one from Angela or something. But no, I think McKenzie made a huge mistake. Now, with that being said, just remember that we got to see everything. We got to see Chelsea and Cam talking and them talking about taking each other. We got to see T-Core and Rabina and Chemo all talking about how much they were going to vote for Chelsea if she made it to the finals. We knew what was going to happen. McKenzie only got 10, 15% of those conversations. She was having to fly blind. She was having to make assumptions. Was she too gullible? Was she too loyal? Probably. I got blamed for the same thing during my season, and it certainly is possible. I will say this. If you're going to lose, if you're going to be making a poor decision, I think it's better that you make a poor decision because you're too gullible, you're too loyal, than the other way, that you stab someone in the back that was actually loyal to you or something like that. I think it makes it a little bit easier to live with yourself. But having said all of that, how many of us can point to a single decision that cost you $750,000? My decision, Tommy versus Holly, it wasn't a $500,000 decision. There was still a lot of game to be played, and I still think stand by that. It was the best path forward. But for her, I truly think that one single moment made the difference, and that's something she'll have to think about and wonder about for a long time. But again, I'm not going to hold that against her because she didn't know nearly as much as what we knew. So I get it, and I'm going to tell her that when I say her that, and she needs to hold her head up high for the game that she played. Just because you maybe screwed up on one little deal doesn't mean that doesn't negate everything else that she did in this game. And she started off in a bad position after Matt went home, and look where she ended up. That's some good gameplay. I hope she recognizes that. I hope she focuses on that going forward. But yeah, I think she should have made a different decision on that thing. Oh, okay. Can you imagine Chelsea when she saw McKenzie win and thought, gosh, is this it for me? And then when she heard McKenzie boot Cam, the flip-flops going on in Chelsea's heart must have been absolute incredible. All right. Wouldn't that be something? $750,000. All right. Patricia Miller saying, hope to see Tucker and Rabina stay together. They make a cute couple. Glad Tucker won America's favorite player. I tell you what, when Tucker reached around him to pull out those flowers in the episode last night, do I need to say this is a spoiler episode that if you don't know who won last night, you probably shouldn't be listening to this. It's probably too late at this point in time anyway, right? But when Tucker turned around and grabbed those flowers, I really thought maybe he was grabbing for something else that was maybe smaller in a little square box and all. And Wouldn't that have been something? I think that would have been way too premature. We'll just say. I best wishes to him for staying together and for finding something amazing in the game of Big Brother. That $750,000 is great, right? And we'll talk about Chelsea and her win for as long as Big Brother exists and all of that. But if you find your soul partner for forever, then isn't that even a better prize? Now, right now they may not think so, but at the end of the day, if they stayed together, got married, that'd be great. The issue is they're on two different coasts. Tucker is over in New York. I guess Rabina's over in California somewhere. That makes it tough. We'll see. Best wishes to him, but sometimes these showmates is not quite as solid as you think while you're inside the house. Ma is saying Tucker won almost as much as McKenzie, and he got to go home. Isn't that something? I had forgotten. I had seen that mentioned, Ma. Thank you for stating that as well. I forgot he got that $20,000 for being the instigator, plus America's favorite, which is now $50,000. So yeah, you're right, $70,000 for that, and he gets his stipend for the weeks that he was in the house, which should take him over $75K. McKenzie, just so y'all know, if you come in first or second place, you don't get your stipend. You get that prize money in place of the weekly pay. Oh, Big Brother, they're counting those pennies. So yeah, at the end of the day, you're right. Tucker got more than McKenzie did. Of course, I was gonna say she got a little more exposure. Seems like Tucker got plenty of exposure. I expect we're gonna see him back on our TV screen somewhere. I don't know where that would be. He won a lot of comps, but for some reason I just don't see him on the challenge. And maybe that's the case. Maybe he could be. Traders would be interesting. What if he played Traders the way he played Big Brother? Just going in and saying, you think I'm the traitor? Well, just go ahead and put me up right now and I'll prove you wrong. Or something. He could be fun on that show. But I think we haven't seen the last of him, but Tucker got an okay payday, and I know he's a model and all that. I would think any exposure is probably good exposure for a while. Now, I did think at one point, in addition to pulling out those roses, I also thought there was a chance he was going to get slapped in the face at one point. Rabina did not seem happy at all when it was revealed that he was the instigator, that he was the one responsible for that first comment about being together with her. Remember, she was so upset and crying and all that. And I thought it was a little bit of a disservice on the show. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that they ever told the jury or anyone in the house that he was not allowed to say that he was the instigator, that he didn't have the option of coming to her and saying, hey, look, it was me. I screwed up. Now, if I recall, he was told he could not tell anyone that he was the instigator. So he didn't have a choice. He could not reveal it to Rabina without getting in trouble potentially. If I'm Rabina, that would bother me as much, not just that the statement was made, but that after she responded the way she did, that he didn't fess up, at least to her. That would seem like a little bit of a betrayal. And she did not look happy. She even looked a little unhappy when he got America's favorite player. Could you see her in the background? She's going, ugh. Now, she may have just been kidding and joking and all of that, because she's kind of that kind of fun spirit, but we'll see. I think they'll have a few things to talk about over the next few weeks. All right, Arno Stew 1 is saying, I would have a hard time giving someone who was carried the whole way through $75,000. I get it. I don't think. Well, let me rephrase it. I was getting ready to say that Cam didn't deserve second place. Actually, if you go into the game of Big Brother and you say, I'm not playing for first, I don't care about winning first. I'm perfectly happy just to be the easy defeat and just playing for second place. If that's all you care about, maybe Cam played a pretty good game, because, and I talked all through the recaps, all through the season on this show on Monday nights. I said I thought Cam was doing okay, but at some point, if he wanted to win, he was going to have to turn it on, win some competitions, take some control, get some blood on his hands. He never did any of that. And as a result, he coasted to the end. Well, not to the very end. I mean, he coasted to third place. If he had made it to second place, if McKenzie had taken him, yeah, on the one hand, I get it. He didn't do anything probably deserving of 75. But on the other hand, if that was his strategy from start to finish and it worked, then so be it. I'm trying to think. Without throwing out names, there was a person in my season who I felt played a somewhat similar non-game, and I would not have been real happy to see that person win 75, but also that person didn't have a chance in heck of ever winning. So yeah, but I do know what you're saying exactly. He was just kind of there, right? I blame that a little bit, not so much on Cam. Play the game that's going to get you as far as you can. How could he not win more competitions on that stuff? Lord, I, I don't know how you do it. I feel like if I was in that house against Cam, I would have wiped the floor with him on those competitions. And I sure am not a Division I athlete. That does kind of amaze me. But he was there. I blame it more on casting. I would be really curious to see what his casting videos and tryouts and things like that were. I'm sure production casting was saying, "Oh my gosh, this guy played football in the Canadian Football League. He is going to be a comp beast. We're going to have him and McKenzie." And I guess Quinn was a Division I athlete. We've got all these athletes in there. They're going to just dominate. And so we're going to change all the competition so it's not so physically intensive to make it more fair. And then they didn't need to worry about it anyway because the comp beasts were 2 women in the house. I guess Tucker at the very beginning. Yeah, it was just such a crazy season, right? And Cam just adding to the craziness. All right, Karen Hummer's saying, what do you do the day after Big Brother or the following days? Did you just want to go to bed or were you excited to talk about the show? Well, it varies a little bit based on whether you are a juror versus a finalist. If you're one of the final 3, here's the way it worked. After the show was over, Julie Chen says, goodbye, whatever that saying is she's got. Be kind to one another, whatever. Anyway, after all of that is over, for us, we were taken back to little green rooms, just little holding rooms right across from the studio, right across from the Big Brother house, and kept there. A handler stayed there with us, and we were kept there until it was our turn to go into the backyard where we did backyard interviews. Now, I haven't seen any of those this time, so I think things may have changed. So I understand this was 5 years ago for my season, but we did the backyard interviews. After that was over, we then were led down to the alternative location where they had a lot of the competitions this season had been turned into just a big open room for kind of a rap party, but not open to just anyone. It was open to the producers, the cameramen, people involved in the project, special guests, big wigs from CBS, things like that. Some former house guests. I know Tyler and Angela Rummins were there. And so we just sat there. We visited with people that came up and just asked us questions and congratulated, things like that. Did that for an hour or two. They then loaded us all into a van and said, maybe it's 2 vans. Seems like we were all in one. But anyway, they loaded us up into a van, handed out everyone's cell phones, and said, guys, we've loved having you on here. We're sending you to XYZ spot where your families are probably waiting for you. And we've loved having you, but goodbye, good riddance, and so long, my friends. We hop in the van. As we're driving along, everyone's turning on their phones, and you can hear all these messages, all the messages coming through. Everyone getting their very first contact with the families and all of that. We then get to a spot where all the families are waiting. I saw my wife, my kids, their fiancés. My mom was there. I'm so glad she got to go and did that. So that was what happens for the juror. For the 3 finalists, they were still locked in, committed to doing all kinds of interviews and press. So I think they were told, look, you're going to be kept basically in sequester for another couple of days. I want to say it's 2 days, but I could be off a little bit on that. So I got to see Nicole's family for just a second. They got to see Nicole for just a little while, but then they were ferried off, put in sequester for a little while, and they spent the entire next day doing press and all that kind of stuff. So I'm imagining that McKenzie and Chelsea and Cam are probably, maybe by now, being released. They may have one more day to do all the interviews that they are obligated to do, and then they'll be released as well. The other thing that happens, and I think they may have done this maybe last night. It looks like Hannah Chada and maybe Azza and a few from past seasons had a little reception party for everyone. So they may have done that, but a day or so after we did our thing, there was a big party at a bar downtown LA, and we got to go and just hang out with each other and a lot of fans and all that. That was a lot of fun as well. And then after that, a lot of the cast went over to Las Vegas and just partied, went to raves and did things like that. I hung with my family. Nothing against them, the guys I spent all that time in the house with, but I was ready for time with my family. So we went and saw Venice Beach and the La Brea Tar Pits and Hollywood Boulevard, all the things that any other tourist would do. And I gotta say, it was kind of weird walking around. First of all, seeing people whose faces I didn't recognize was a big shock to me. And having people recognizing who I was also quite the shock to me. And that was the start of the post Big Brother experience. It was wild. I think it's still pretty much the same nowadays. So yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. All right, Mark is saying, who is your pick for America's favorite player? You know, I kept bouncing around it. I probably end up giving my votes to a little bit of everyone on that one. I thought at one point maybe Angela, but I ended up not doing that. And I thought Angela could have been a little more receptive to Matt's apology last night. Forgive and forget. It's a show. You're over. Just move on. But she didn't do it. But no, I bounced my votes around. I threw some to Quinn. I threw some to Leah. I threw a couple of Tucker. I just kind of bounced back and forth because at the end of the day, I don't know. I didn't have. There's some season where someone just absolutely stands out as, oh my gosh, I want that person to be America's favorite. This season, it just depended as I was watching the overnight feeds and who was talking and who was saying on. I will say this: I did not throw any America's favorite votes to anyone who led singing inside the Big Brother house this season, and I'll just leave that up to y'all to figure out who that possibly could be. I don't want to hear the Jankie song anymore. I don't want to hear any more made up Big Brother songs about how this is the best summer of our lives and all the experiences and all. I guess I'm not a musical kind of dude. I just want to see the strategy and I don't care about the song. But now I didn't really have a strong favorite for America's favorite. Rita Case is saying, or Kosi is saying, what do you think of Angela's response to Matt? Yeah, I thought it was maybe petty. I'm trying to stay positive here. I thought it was a little bit, she could have handled it better. Now, they were all under a bit of shock. They're suddenly out here, they're voting for people. They're seeing these house guests that they haven't seen in a while. They're seeing house guests that they haven't seen in a long while in terms of pre-jury. She's not sure what he may be saying about her, and who knows what they said in the jury house. I also think that Angela, she did everything 110%, right? She played the game hard. I'm sure once she was out of the game, she probably was very. I think emotionally, she probably was every bit as upset after she got out as she was happy while she was in the house. And so, because of that, emotions probably riding high for Angela. And why should we not expect her to take the same kind of playing that she did in the house and carry it over into the reunion show itself? So yeah, when someone comes to me and says, I'm sorry, and I hope I said I'd forgive. Now I will say this as well. Matt said something about, I promised when I left the house that I would forgive or something. I probably would have said that as a little bit differently as well, because at the end of the day, it's a game. You really shouldn't have to apologize for anything that involves gameplay. And maybe he thought her stuff went a little beyond game, and she probably thought it as well. Perhaps it did, but both of them probably should. And I hope after a day or two, once everyone gets a chance to cool down, that they can say, look, it's just a game. It's like playing poker and you beat me on a bluff hand, and no hard feelings. Life goes on. It's not like Matt and Angela are ever going to just happen to run into each other at the same nightclub or anything like that, right? Their lives probably are not going to cross any, so it doesn't hurt to just say, look, we had a shared experience. We may have had slightly different opinions on it, but we're cool with each other. I hope they get there. I'm going to tell them they need to get there. All right, Arnold Stew 1 is saying, Anyone happy to see Jankie again? I really think that the producers probably were not realizing how just brutal it looked when they took out Jankie and the way that the house guests responded. You thought they were going to cry, right? I mean, I think a few of them may have cried at how Jankie the AI was taken out by Ainsley. I don't know if that was planned in the beginning. I thought it was going. I didn't think it was going to be Jankie. I thought it was going to be some kind of announcement of a new reality show, a celebrity show, something along those lines. Another type of Big Brother. Now he's just Jankie hanging out there. So yeah, I was fine with Jankie. I'll even say I was okay with him singing the Jankie song at the end. I suppose I almost would have preferred to have a little more talk about the game itself. That's my big issue with Big Brother. I wish they did it more like Survivor. The idea that you can summarize 3.5 months of gameplay in 90 seconds and with a few questions, it just amazes me. I think it does a disservice to the two who are at the end. I think it does a disservice to those who are on jury that can't really hash out and thresh out what they want to say. I would have loved, and we had, for example, Chelsea. We'd seen her work on her speeches, and she did a fantastic job. Was it Cam who said, "Oh, she's a preacher. She knows how to talk." Talk she did. She did a great job. But a lot of the questions they asked her, she pulled bits and pieces out of her final two speech and told them that. Things like my game was multifaceted. It's like a diamond. It's beautiful no matter what side you look at. And then she repeated herself on the final two. So really, I don't think we got nearly as much introspection. Is that the right word? I don't know. Enough consideration of her game and McKenzie. If they had sat there and said, "Okay, jury, you got 15, 20 minutes, just ask your question. You don't have to have prepared, just fire back and forth. Let's see what y'all do and see what you come up with." I think we could have had a little bit, I would like to see a little bit more free form question and answers on this stuff and see how people respond under pressure and all of that. I'd like to see them expanded out, if not to a full 2 hours, give us an hour and a half and let's see more Q&A. But they just do it so quick. I just feel like we missed out on some. All right, Hunter Green is saying, "I just applied to Big Brother 27. All right, Hunter. Well, if you get a little further in the tryout process, reach out to me. I promise I keep my mouth shut to anyone whoever approaches me. And I've had a few people who approach me who ended up on the show. I always keep my mouth shut. I'll help you figure out packing or whatever else you want to know. And if you make it on there, Hunter, we got your back, right? That would be a lot of fun. I know everyone sits there and says, 10,000, 20, 30,000 people apply. What's the point? How am I going to make it on there? I thought the same thing. Trust me, when I tried out for Big Brother, it was not because I thought I was going to get on the show. I just did it because I thought it was a fun way to embarrass my kids. Literally. I really, that was a bit of the joke in the family. It's just Cliff going off trying to do something silly just because that's who he is. I had no clue. I was just doing it for fun. I was just doing it to say I did it. And then it happened. So don't ever assume that something isn't possible just because the odds are teeny tiny. Someone has to win that lottery. Some 16 people have to get on that show. And we watch them and we think, these are some kind of incredible special folks and all. No, they're just regular people who just happen to be in the right place at the wrong time. So Hunter, I'm hoping for you. Fingers are crossed that I can think of nothing more fun. Of course, here's the tough part. You make it on the show and one or two other people from Cliff Notes Live make it on the show. Y'all better be aligning with each other and you'll dominate the game and we will be happy campers here back on this show. Good luck to you, my friend. You can do it. I absolutely believe you. I have full faith in you, Hunter. So good luck on that. All right, let's see. Roberta Stark is saying, "Are there ever any house guests who smoke? Do they have to quit?" All right. I will say this. I was incredibly lucky that no one smoked during my season. I think there's a few people who may have, I think there's a few people who may have smoked something other than cigarettes, but they didn't do it inside the Big Brother house. No, the rule is, and I guess it's still the rule, if you want to smoke, you can do so, but you can only smoke the number of cigarettes that you bring into the house. And you can only smoke out in the backyard, which means when the house is shut down for 5 days out of 7, you're limited to just those few days out in the backyard is the only time that you could smoke, which seems incredibly tough to me to go cold turkey for 5 days, then start up again, then go cold turkey. It's hard enough in that house without having to do that. But yes, you can smoke only the cigarettes that you bring in. There were a few people over the seasons. I think Evil Dick smoked, right? I know Jason Royce smoked. Derek Frazier smoked. There are people. I've always heard the story. There was one person who came into the house, only had like one change of clothes because their whole rest of their suitcase was cigarettes. And their thinking was, they're not going to give me more cigarettes, but if I don't have enough clothes to really look good on the camera, they'll bring me new clothes. And I think he was right. So yeah, they do that. Now, if you're in the house and you're a smoker and you run out, or you don't want to, or during those days when you can't go outside, we were told that they would provide nicotine gum, nicotine patches, things to help you through kicking that craving. But yeah, theoretically, you can smoke. I know during my season, Jack Matthews had asked at one point when he won HOH, he said he wanted a couple of cigars, little darts or something, and he wanted a little something like that. And they said, yeah, no, yeah, you ain't getting it, Jack, which I could have told him as well. But yeah, so you can smoke, but only what you can bring in. All right, real quickly here, Tim Cox. Tim, thank you, sir, for the support. I appreciate it. Saying, glad to see your cameo on last night's episode. Wasn't that something? I gotta say, I was on Friday night. Friday night was the visitation for my mom. Her funeral was Saturday, so visitation was Friday night. So I couldn't see the show live. I'm sitting there talking to a lot of people, and I enjoyed it. Again, hearing stories and just talking to a lot of people who've known my mom forever and all that, but really not thinking of Big Brother at all in that particular part of point of time. Y'all can understand that, right? And all of a sudden, about the time I got done, I get in the car, my phone starts blowing up with some people sending me messages saying, "You're on the show, you're on the show." It's like, all right, well, okay, they mentioned my name or something. And then I watch it and they actually show a clip from me. And not just any clip. Show me sitting around the pool without a shirt on, talking to Kat about the moon landing and all of that. And yeah, that's pretty cool. We all have a little bit of an ego there. And to see myself still representing a little bit, representing my season, especially representing NASA, and talking about the fact that no, the moon landing was not fake. I know astronauts, I know I know the flight directors that were involved in the moon landing. There's no one. There's too many people involved in the space program for it to stay a secret. Our government isn't that good at keeping secrets. So now it happened. But yeah, I'll have to talk to Brooke. She's up in Dallas, so Breckle and I are gonna have to have a little talk about her and Kat, birds of a feather. We're gonna have to talk to both of them about some of these conspiracy theories, and set them down the right path. But yeah, that was cool. So Tim, thank you for the super stamp. I absolutely appreciate it. But yeah, that was fun to see. Completely unexpected, and it kind of brought a smile to my face when I probably needed a smile on my face. So it was neat. I enjoyed it. All right, Mark Lozano saying, do you think Cam could have won? No, not in a million years. How would he justify winning? Now I know he had told them that, oh, I'm just going to say that, I don't know. I'm just going to be silly. I'm going to say y'all deserved it, and I'm just here, whatever. He would have had a speech. He would have stood up there and said, this was my strategy from the start. I knew I didn't need that people would expect me to win, and I would be a target as soon as I did. By me not winning, it kept me under the radar. And he would have talked about loyalty from the very beginning and how no one ever targeted him. And I'm sure he would have even said some things like, even when they put me on the block, it was only because they wanted me there to try to keep other people from getting, off the block and things like that. He would have had an argument, but no, anyone who voted for Cam at the end over Chelsea or McKenzie, I think they just would have faced a Bob with pitchforks after the end of that show. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm looking forward to saying hello to him. But he did not play to a first place finish in that game. So no, I don't think there's a chance in the world. Could he have gotten a pity vote from someone? I don't even think that. I would make fun of whoever gave that vote to him, but he may have. But no, he was dead man walking. He was drawing dead. Isn't that what it said? Drawing dead in the hand. He didn't stand a chance at that point in time. He couldn't. There's things he could have done. His final 3 speech. Just give up, because that's what he did. he should. Why would he not, when he's sitting there talking to McKenzie, talking about trying to survive? Why would he have not told McKenzie, said, believe me or not, but Chelsea already told me that if she had won this final one, she was taking me and not you. So this loyalty thing that you're talking about, McKenzie, it's only coming from you. Chelsea and I already had an agreement from the very beginning. She was going to take me. And in your heart, you know that's the case, McKenzie. I think that's how I would have pitched it. And of course, I would have pitched it. You also know, McKenzie, that I stand zero chance of winning against you. Can you say that about Chelsea? I probably would start with that, and then knowing what we know about her feelings about loyalty and all that, I would have attacked the justification for her loyalty by saying she's not loyal to you, so why should you be loyal to her? I would have at least given it the attempt, but he didn't do it. He just, whatever y'all decide's okay with me. No, that's not what you say. You say, I have to go because otherwise you're going to get beat. A lost opportunity for Cam to at least make it to the final two. But I didn't expect strategic gameplay from Cam at the very end because I don't know that thought from the very beginning, but that's all right. He did come in third place. He placed higher than I did, so maybe I'm not the one to be critiquing Cam too much, right? All right, Mark is saying, now that Big Brother is over, will you cover Survivor Weekly at this point? Who's your favorite? Yeah, I will absolutely. We won't do morning recap. I mean, it's just one episode a week. Yeah, I will. I'll cover it. Who's my favorite? I don't. Give me one more week to focus on the names and all that, because I don't even necessarily know the names. I will say I've enjoyed the season so far. Is it Keyshawn who went home this last? I don't want to give out spoilers. I'm sorry, guys, but I have been impressed by the gameplay so far, and people kind of surprising me and all of that. I got bad for the guy who went home week number one, because I felt like someone else probably deserved to go home. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But no, I'm enjoying it so far. My favorite part, I don't think this is a spoiler, but when that one person found the Beware advantage and paint splattered everywhere, and they're trying to cover it up, and people are coming and they end up with paint on their cheeks. They're blaming on getting cut and everything. Classic. We hadn't seen anything like that before from production of Survivor, and I just thought it was fantastic. What do you do when you're trying to cover up something that is now so exposed everywhere? So yeah, I'm enjoying Survivor. The only thing I don't like about Survivor, I just feel like the competitions are all too generically the same nowadays. Every one of them involves some kind of physical something, carry something, dig under something, then throw something. And after you've successfully thrown something, then solve a puzzle. And it's kind of like, all right, we could replace A with B, B with C from different challenges. It's all going to be the same. I want more of the old stuff that was, food challenges. Maybe they're gone forever, but or more or less. But I just want to see a little more variety in what they do throughout the season. And I don't know that I always get that from Survivor. But on the other hand, I think from a strategy game standpoint, there's always new stuff happening in Survivor that always keeps me interested. So yeah, now that Big Brother is over, we'll start talking about that every week, and I will have names start next week. I'm just still catching my breath from Big Brother itself. All right, what else do we have on here? Michelle Moore, are you watching The Summit? Yes, I'll tell you a little secret here. I just started it today. I was just so busy with everything else, and Big Brother, and personal issues and all that. I didn't have time until got back home to Houston. Well, I didn't realize there were only 2 episodes. For some reason, I was thinking there's a few more episodes than that. I watched it. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm starting to get invested with some of these people and the storytelling that they're doing. I understand now why they watched the first episode inside the Big Brother house, and they were talking about, Angela saying, I feel like my story's a lot like this lady's, not wanting to go and wanting to prove something and everything. I get it now. I know what she was talking about. Yeah, I love adventure racing to start with. I've always enjoyed. Before Survivor, I watched Echo Challenge, which was Mark Burnett's adventure racing, teams of 4 going around doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm seeing a little bit of that in the Summit, where they're having to get checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint, but you still have a little bit of the strategy and intrigue. So yeah, so far so good. 2 episodes in, and I've enjoyed it. I got a few people I'm cheering for and some not so much. And I know this. I know it's going to get tougher every single week. And what's great about the summit is I picture myself in the summit, thinking, how would I do? Would I be the guy at the very back, exhausted? Go on without me, guys. Maybe, but you know what? I can do a decent job of going hard, sometimes harder than I probably need to be. And as far as heights, I'm scared to death of heights, but it wouldn't have stopped me from crossing those rope bridges and things like that. It would be an interesting challenge against myself to do something like that. So yeah, I'm enjoying the summit. It's so far so good. Having fun with that. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Angie, hey Angie, saying the fact that McKenzie thought her best move was evicting Leah meant she didn't realize that Chelsea had a stronger game than Cam. She would have picked Cam. Yeah, I agree. I think that was I would misfire saying, what did you think of MJ's game plan? Well, as much as McKenzie said, I'm playing the game for myself and all that, she was so influenced by other people. And I think there's a little bit of an after effect from the first part of the season. She started off, she was friends with Matt. She called it a showmance, but it never seemed like it was quite a showmance. I don't see that going anywhere either. But she started off with him, but he was so quickly gone. McKenzie felt like such a lone wolf. She talked about it so many times. I truly think because she felt so alone for so long that as soon as someone started paying attention to her, props to Chelsea for doing it. As soon as someone started paying a little more attention to McKenzie and saying, hey, you're my person, you know, I value who you are and I don't want you gone. Because she had been so alone for the first half of the season, I think McKenzie probably overcompensated a little bit for the second part of the season and really latched on to Chelsea more than she obviously should have. Because Chelsea, McKenzie would come up with a plan. You know, remember, Leah was a perfect example. The other one's just using the veto on Angela. That she so much wanted Angela gone. After she talks to Chelsea, it's like, I'll get her out later. As long as y'all tell me y'all get her out later, yeah, we'll go for. Is that when she went for Leah? I don't know. They all get jumbled up at this point, Angie. But she was way too willing to listen to other people, and I think. I don't know if that's part of her personality. It could be, but it also may just be that she was making up for not having anyone in the first part of the game. I kind of get that. And I was on the outside of a big alliance, and I just so much wanted to find someone that I could work with. And eventually I found Nicole, which was fantastic. But there was also something to be said for finding someone who had a little power in the game. And that turned out to be Jackson Mickey. So there's probably times where I was a little too trusting of him as well, because I was just so, after the first part of my season, was so desperate to find someone that could offer me a little protection, that seemed to have some protection in the game to offer. And, you know, there's nothing that's by itself in this game. Everything that happens from start to finish affects everything else in the game. And I think if you're in that house and you're playing a game, you've got to be aware of that. Different people have different objectives in the game. We saw it this season. Chemo and Rabina, they just seemed like they just want to kind of stick around just because they were having fun in the house. And other people were just all about winning the game. If you can figure out what people's objectives are and during my season, Christy Murphy, I really quickly realized that she was very much looking for acceptance in the house. She wanted other people to like her and like what she was doing. And so there's times where I based some of the things I did based on knowing that she would do what she thought needed to be done in order to keep people liking her in the house and to keep on the right side of people and all that. So you end up trying to read a lot of stuff into a lot of people. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. But yeah, it's hard. It's such a psychological game in there. All right, Tommy Braskett saying something iconic would have been if McKenzie cut Chelsea. Would that not have been brutal? Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's what she needed to do. No one, well, Chelsea may have been upset with it. Chelsea's family may have been upset with it. No one would have blamed McKenzie for doing that, right? I mean, you can say it's brutal, savage, whatever wording you want to use, but also necessary. And she would have actually, from the hardcore, passionate Big Brother fans, she would have gained a lot more fans. A lot of people were saying, oh, she doesn't even deserve to be there. She's too gullible and all that. if she had done that at the very end, first of all, talking about the drama on CBS and with Big Brother production, oh, they would have loved it. I guess they would have loved it. I mean, and not because Chelsea wasn't there. Chelsea played the best game. Chelsea, remember this, Chelsea at one point was best buddies with Brooklyn. Brooklyn got caught. Chelsea was very exposed at that point in time. She could have easily been an early boot before jury, followed Brooklyn right out the door. She wasn't. She was able to win a couple of challenges when she needed to, but basically just talk to people, develop new relationships, distance herself from that relationship with Brooklyn, and do what it took to advance forward. So Chelsea most definitely, I think, was the most deserving person in that game. But if McKenzie had cut her at the end and won as a result of it, it may have flipped right on over to McKenzie in terms of who deserved that victory the most. Yeah, it would have been incredible TV. It's a shame that we didn't get to see it, but I have no issues whatsoever with who won that season of Big Brother. She's one of the good ones. I think she's one of the better players that we've seen over the last few years. All right, Cindy Hire saying, "Are you happy with the winner?" Yeah, I am. I'm absolutely happy, Cindy. Y'all know me. I've been doing the show all season long, and I've said for probably the last half of it that I thought she was playing the best game. Not a perfect game, and there's pretty dang close though. I mean, there's some little things she did. I thought she was a little too critical of Cam, and I really thought for a while there her emotions were going to screw up her game in terms of just seeming to be a little jealous of Cam and what he was doing and some of his flirting and everything. I think there's a spot there in the middle where she was risking a lot, but it seems like, I don't know if she realized it or it just after a while she said, I can't do anything about it. This is what I came for. But seems like after a while she pulled herself in. She got herself in check. She got her game face on, so to speak. And from that time on, other than guessing A when she should have guessed B on that very last question, she played a great second half, other than just some of the emotional stuff. Was that not an incredible final third part of that final HOH competition? Every question, they were both getting it right. And Chelsea was showing the answer. McKenzie was keeping it covered. So you didn't know until the last possible second that they both had the same one picked every single time. I was ready for it to go to some kind of question. How many minutes have y'all been in this house or something like that, and see how good they are at math? Would you not have prepared that kind of question and known exactly how many minutes in a day, in an hour, hopefully they know how many are in an hour, but in a day, in a week, in a month, and had all of that kind of in the back of your head just in case? I would hope so. And it ended up not being the case, not needing it because she missed that last one, but that was an incredible competition. Jeff Mertz, Jeff, my brother from another mother. And you went to the Simpsons studio. Yes, I did. I don't always talk about that because I'm not sure how much Jeff would want me to talk about that. Jeff Mertz and I, childhood buddies. My parents lived across the street from each other. They still do. Jeff's over in LA at this point, but his mom still lives across the street from my mom and all that. So we saw each other all weekend with the funeral and all that. But yes, right after we got out of the Big Brother house and saw some of the touristy stuff, Jeff is an animator for The Simpsons, and so we got to go to their studio, to their building, office building, where they do all the animation, and got to go in there. And Jeff showed us what he does. We met different people from different groups, the ones who do the coloring, the pre-design, all kinds of stuff. And it was so fun in there. I've got some pictures. I'll post these one of these days. Giant Bart Simpson statues and just all kinds of cells up on the walls. And yeah, it's cool seeing the background of something goes on to such as The Simpsons. Yeah, Jeff went to A&M, but did background for Futurama and then animation for The Simpsons. So he's done some cool stuff. It was a lot of fun getting to hang with Jeff a little bit and seeing the magic behind the scenes, especially something as iconic as The Simpsons. I'm glad you pointed that out, Jeff. Yeah, that was a very special bonus because so few get to do something like that. 7:55. I knew it was going to be fast. All right, Tracy Muckenfuss is saying, did they ever do the standing swing competition that bangs you around? No, they did not. They didn't do that, and they didn't do the slip and slide, which okay, yeah, sometimes you're gonna lose a comp here or there when they bring in new ones, but yeah, I'm not gonna say I wish they'd done the banging around one because I was so bad. My body doesn't fit on a rope with a little disc at the bottom. My center of gravity is somewhere different than other people's, because that was a horrible competition for me. I didn't stand a chance in that game, but it was still a little bit iconic. No, they didn't do that type of endurance competition. Now, here's the thing. I get it. Yeah, well, all right, let's not have as many physical comps and all of that. But instead of doing something like that, they had that first part of the final three HOH where they were hanging on to a hang glider, transformer, rocket ship, whatever it was. It just seemed very, very similar to the wall competition. You could have easily had them hanging on to ropes on that one, spinning around until someone fell, until the first two fell. I thought that would have been perfect place for it, but yeah, no, they didn't do that, or the slip and slide. And I hope they aren't gone forever. Maybe this was just kind of a little hiccup in the schedule. Uh, Slip and slide, though, I said on one of my shows, I feel like they're just risking injuries every time they do that because a whole lot of slippery in that thing. It was lard or Crisco or whatever they put in. It was crazy. So, yeah, I'm not surprised they got rid of it, but I'd still like to see it one of these times. All right, real quick, Garbarino. I hope I pronounced C. Garbarino saying, thank you for making this season so much fun. Well, thank you for the support. Thank you for the super stamp. But more than that, just thank you and thank everyone for the support. I love the game of Big Brother. I was worried after I did the show that I'd get soured on it and not ever be interested. No, just the opposite. I have that much more invested in it. I love talking about the show. Yeah, my family will tell you how much I love talking about the show. So I love to do that. I love to hang with you guys, talk about it on these Monday nights and the morning recaps as well. It's just so fun watching people battle their wits, their emotions, their discipline. Everyone does it differently based on their own strengths or weaknesses. I just love people showing how adaptable humans are to survive, whether it's true survival or just survival inside an artificial manufactured type environment. But you see people doing so many different things to just get a step ahead. That's why humans are as incredibly complex and fun as we are. So yeah, thank you so much, C. Gabarino. I absolutely appreciate the support. It means a lot. All right, Tina Harlan is saying, Teal Harn Stansted. Hey, Tina, saying, disappointed nothing is going on this winter. I was kind of expecting, and the Reindeer Games was hugely successful, right? I was kind of expecting to see another one. Now, this did wrap up a little bit earlier than last season. We are just in the middle of October, so maybe they'll still announce something. Maybe they wanted to wait and see how the season turned out. I don't know, but yeah, it reminds me, I need to reach out to one or two of these house guests. Say, hey, have you gotten a telephone call? You can tell me. Mum's a word, but if I find out, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'd like to see something else off season as well. Whether it's celebrity, Reindeer Games, give us something to tide us over a little bit. Especially now that we don't have Big Brother Canada. It's going to be a long time until we get Big Brother USA back. So yeah, give us some little scraps here, Big Brother. We want to see something. All right, Jason Jones is saying, watching your season on Pluto TV. Well, good. I need to check out Pluto. I know it goes on there in cycles every once in a while, and I still haven't watched my season. I've watched the first third, and that's it. So maybe during the off season, maybe we'll watch it somehow, figure out how we can do that, and I'll give you the inside scoop on each and every episode. That could be fun. A little stressful, but could be a little fun as well. We'll see. All right, Chaz is saying, we'll be applying for Big Brother 27. You will be getting shout outs. Well, thank you, Chaz. And every time you shout me out, I guarantee you're going to get a big old whoop from over here and just that much more support. That would be cool. I want you to get on there so bad, Chaz. You and Hunter, yeah, y'all can do it together. All right, Ma is saying, I'd only play with Big Brother if I'd play with Cliff. Well, Ma, we would have to keep it a secret because if they knew that we have this Cliff Notes Live canal, you've been watching this show forever. So if they knew it, they'd be booting up both of us pretty quick. But as long as they didn't, we could take it. We could make it to the end. Now, here's the question: we get to the final three. Are you taking me to the end, Ma? Or are you gonna boot me like an old piece of shoe leather? It's some kind of funny saying in there somewhere, I'm sure. But now we would have fun, Ma. I would have so much fun playing the game with you. You've got to have someone in the game that hopefully you can trust. Hopefully someone that you can have a little fun with, that you can joke around with, and and do all that. Because otherwise, the stress of that game just gets to you so quick. I got around it by doing a lot of pranks during my season. So I hope the house they seem like they were okay with it. Some of them may have been going to other rooms saying, dang, Cliff, all he does is those stupid pranks. But nah, anything to get rid of stress in the house is important. And Ma, I think we'd have a few jokes here and there if we were playing that game together. So yeah, come on. If any of y'all get cast and you tell them that you'd like to play with me, who knows? Maybe they'll give me a call as well. That'd be fun. Robert Hogg, my nephew Robert. Howdy. Robert was a huge reality TV fan as well. I'm glad to see you out, Robert. I tell you, as much as difficult as it was this whole past week or so, it is incredible how tragedy and losses bring families together. And so had fun hanging with Robert and Jeff and everyone else. I'm glad you're out here, Robert. Robert can tell you about a prank or two I've done over the years. A few to him, a few to his mom, a few to all kinds of family members. All right, let's see. What else do we have on there? I guess at this point, we're going to shut it. It's already 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll shut it down right there. Guys, I enjoyed the season. I'm going to try to do a little recap video of the entire season. I just had to catch my breath, but I'll do that here over the next day or two. And we'll talk about what I thought went well, what didn't go well. But I so enjoyed getting to come out here Monday night. Yes, it's all been Big Brother talk for the past few months. We'll switch that up. We'll start talking about some other reality TV shows. Hey, any movies, TV things, non-reality stuff that y'all have watched, let me know about it because I got some time available yet again. So we'll do all that. Guys, have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll be back to next Monday night for another episode 199. That's amazing. 200 hours of me talking. Even plants can't stand that. But no, guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications. Big thumbs up is always appreciated. And I will finish it up because I think I forgot it at the start, but I will finish up with the big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality TV, especially love the fans of reality TV. Guys, y'all are something special. I have a blast doing these on Monday nights. Go out, enjoy your week, and have a great one. Cheers, my friends. See y'all again next week. Until then, bye. Let's see if I can turn this on. Y'all have a great one, guys. Cheers, my friends.